Alrighty guys, welcome in to our demo of the Assassin's Creed Discovery Tour. I'm gonna just throw you guys right into it because I own the game and we're just gonna launch it and head right into it. I am currently standing in London, but this may not be the London you're familiar with. This is the London of the Viking Age. And what students will be able to do with this software is also stand in London in the Viking Age and explore. But not just that. We're going to open up our map here. We have the entirety of England, more or less, to explore in some capacity. Additionally, if we go to our atlas, we can go to Norway, and we can also go to the Viking godly realms of Jotunheim and Asgard. Asgard, perhaps you may be familiar with it because of Marvel, something for the kids to come, the students to come and try out with. But we're going to stay in England for the time being, and we're going to explore London just a little bit before we really get into it. Now, personally, I would not start with using London and just letting the students have free roam over the world, because you want to give them a guide, you want to get them established into the world. And just letting them roam free isn't going to be anything special. But this is what we're doing right now. I am currently playing as, I guess, the default character. There are a number of stories. If we bring up our menu, there are different quests that give you different characters. This codex has things that students can discover. We'll get back to these. Additionally, these are the characters that are available, some of them based off of the actual Assassin's Creed game, and others based off of the story you may encounter and other things. Now, we're just going to walk around England as this Viking, except this really isn't England at this year. It is East. It hasn't been established as a unified kingdom. These are all minor kingdoms, and the students will learn about this as they go through the game. Catholicism is still the main religion here if we want to look at this kind of holy man or priest, and we can observe this 9th century church here that would have been built, that may or may not have existed. We don't exactly know. But this is, if a church did exist here, it was built in this style, it would have likely looked like this. We can actually go into it. St. Paul's Cathedral here in London. But this is not the most important part of our tour. We're going to really get things going. We're going to take a bird's eye view here with our little bird friend. It's a feature in the main game, so we're using it now. You'll be pressing up on the D-pad if you're using a Xbox controller like I am. There are key bindings you can do on the PC. Even though I am playing this on PC, I can use an Xbox controller, which is something that is, I guess, an accessibility feature here. We're gonna press a button to get off of this, and when we went up there, there was really no points of interest. We're gonna fast travel if we want to look at our big map once more. We have, these big quests that you can go on. By quest, I mean, guided story experiences. This is actually Stonehenge. It's kind of a pain to get to, but a student, if they do have some free time, could go over here and discover Stonehenge. What you will see on some of these map sections is these blue and yellow dots, these discovery sites and behind the scenes things that students will be able to access and find during story missions. We're just going to fast travel over there and we're going to kind of explore perhaps a more involved town. In Granite Bridgeshire and Wickham, which is a real city, but you may not see them as familiar features because, well, we're talking about Anglo-Saxons, not actually English. They don't exactly speak the English we know today, so the names are a bit more different. We're coming into this lovely monastery here that a student will be able to explore. And really the point of this is to have immersive experiences for students. Now this software is not free. That's if you want to start a quest. The software is not free. You have to pay for a license for each device. I'm not entirely sure how expensive the license is. Let me go check that. Each license costs $19, so 20 bucks. And well, not super cheap. If you use the right discovery tour, there are also discovery tours of Egypt and Greece. I just have the Viking one downloaded because I'm playing the corresponding game. We have a lot of opportunities for students to learn in a lot of different ways. We have these kind of discovery sites tutorials, so the first time someone encounters this, they can see it. And we're actually going to encounter this right now. There is no computer audio because I don't have the full screen recorder version yet, but we're going to press A to interact here. So you see here, you have the monastery. Raiding the monasteries is, a main goal of the Viking raiders. And, it asks a question that leads you to ask more. Did Vikings truly single out monasteries? Well, we now have a picture of this monastery here, medieval, and a piece of text for them to read. And we can also hide the text and kind of get a picture of the actual monastery here. But we have that, and we have a little progress bar. And we can also continue into the monastery here. Medieval Christian medicine. You can learn about medicine at this time. Once again, you have image credits, all that good stuff that I'm sure you as a copyright conscious person will love to see. We're going to go to, where's the behind the scenes look? We're going to go over here in just a moment. And the nice thing about this feature is that you can mark things with your map or with your bird, and they will show up as marked. So that's the objective we're about to go to, but we're going to hit this first. And we're going to talk about science at this time. So ideally a teacher would build a themes around medicine, government, science, religion, and use the discovery tour to enhance this. And you can get a better look at this. And you can talk about time, tempests, and how medieval medicine worked. Once again, we have our thing here. Now we have a behind the scenes. Now for those who maybe are running out of more productive things to do, we can look at some behind the scenes work on how they bring it. Now this is kind of a narrator guy down here. I can hear the audio, but the graphics here, the captions, help you and help students with accessibility. And they kind of go through the process of how they actually make it and put it into the game. And as someone who majored in game design or minored in game design, this is super interesting to me. And I am going to kind of skip through this. And I'm just going to show some of what your progress can do. You have your codex that you can refer to at any time. So when you go into behind the scenes, you can get this behind the scenes. When you go into your learnings, medieval Christian medicine, it pulls up the same screen as before. Rating the monasteries, it pulls up the same screen as before. Characters, you can see with the exploration features, we eventually can unlock all the characters, which could be very cool for someone to do. Now I am going to open back up the map. I'm going to hit Y to go to the atlas, and I'm going to go back to Norway. I'm not going to mess with Jotunheim and Asgard. Those are going to be a bit less on the exact educational side for the time being. I've only got a few more minutes with you before this ends. But if we come back here to Fornburg, you can tell we're here, but it really wants us to head up and do oaths and honor. And hopefully, I can skip through this cutscene, because it will lead you through a fun little story. And it kind of gives you some guidance on all of this, and you can learn about what it was like for a Viking to leave. And hopefully I can skip through this. If not, oh well then. But a student, and these lessons are usually about 20 to 30 minutes, which is enough time to do 1 or 2 lessons or 1 or 2 quests. And then, depending on how much you want to get done, you can return to the lesson. And you can still, while you're doing this, interact with these things, so you can learn as the lesson goes. I'm actually just going to run ahead of it. I just wanted to show the demonstration that there is scripted content and things that you can be doing. We're going to open up our bird again, and look, you can explore Norway during this time as well. And so, while I wasn't able to really go through all of the features in depth as I would want to in about 15 or so minutes, I do hope that this brief video shows as a demonstration on the potential of this software in education and learning. The curriculum is brought to us via McGill, and it has curriculums not just for the Viking Age, but there is a ancient Egypt and Greece version as well to really, cover as much of history as you can, though I do believe that you need to pay for a license for each. And yes, the parkour system from the actual Assassin's Creed video games are in the game. You can climb trees and, something for the teacher to look out for to make sure that the students aren't just messing around the entire time. And as we stand near a statue of Thor, we're going to wrap things up for you today. Hopefully you found this informative. Hopefully you can find this helpful in your pursuit of helping students in the classroom.